Jai Hind everyone, myself Deepti Arora, Assistant Professor MC Department, AKG College. So today we will discuss about different IoT security challenges. What are the different IoT security challenges we will discuss here? So we are using IoT with different devices in which there are numerous of devices are there through which we can make our human life, or we can say we can make our day-to-day life easy through these IoT devices. So whenever we make our day-to-day life easy, we used to transmit a lot of data during between different IoT devices. So whenever we transfer lots of data between different IoT devices for our day-to-day purpose, there are different challenges that we have to face for ensuring the security of our data or security of our device. That there may be many challenges like about its software, its firmware, cyber attacks, denial of service attack, denial of sleep attack, cyber attacks. Many attacks are there, from viruses, from data leak to different software and hardware functionalities or vulnerabilities. So here we will discuss about whatever the different IoT security challenges and what are the goals that the company or different IoT device makers are implementing to make this day-to-day life possible, and making this different vulnerabilities and challenges during the data transfer between different IoT devices. So let's start. Internet of Things security is a set of approaches and practices towards protecting physical devices, networks, processes, and technologies that comprise an IoT environment from a broad spectrum of IoT security attacks. So, Internet of Things security is a set of what? Approaches and practices. What kind of approaches and practices? Like protecting the physical devices, protecting the network, different processes and technologies that comprises the IoT environment. And IoT environment is it is a broad spectrum of IoT security attacks, from a broad spectrum. Broad spectrum from IoT security. What are these broad spectrum? That is software and firmware vulnerabilities, insecure communication, data leak from IoT system, malware risk, cyber attacks. These are different broad spectrums of IoT cyber attacks, security attacks. And we have to make our IoT environment that does not comprise of these cyber security. We have to protect our data, our IoT environment from these security attacks. So what are the two goals of IoT? Major goals of IoT security are: make sure all data is collected, sorted and stored and processed and transferred securely. All data from different IoT device that needs to be processed must be collected and then stored properly, then processed and transferred securely from one IoT device to another. Next one is, if there is any security challenge, then first detect that challenge and eliminate that vulnerability from IoT components. So what are the two major goals? Z goals. That means Z plus security goals is to protect the data and detect and eliminate the vulnerabilities. So these are the two major goals of the IoT security. First one is to protect the data. Whatever the data you have captured, you have gathered from different IoT devices, that needs to be protected. And then after detecting, if there are some vulnerabilities, detect those vulnerabilities and then eliminate those vulnerabilities. So let us discuss about these IoT different challenges in detail. So first one is software and firmware vulnerabilities. So what are different software and firmware vulnerabilities? Ensuring the security of IoT system is tricky. Why it is tricky? Because number of IoT devices they are there, and in all these IoT devices, we are having different platforms, different software, different kinds of firmware, different types of hardware, and to make the compatible to contact or communicate with each other IoT devices, we have to transfer a lot of data. So while transferring lot of data between different kind of platforms, different kind of devices, software, the IoT system security management is tricky. So mostly because of a lot of smart devices are resources constrained. Resources constrained means they are having different resources but in small quantity. For example, they are having sensors but their battery life is low. We are having a small IoT device like Alexa, Amazon Alexa, or your smart TV, or your bulbs, but their life is low. Why? Because there is battery, there depends upon battery, and the battery drains so fast. So whatever be the security we are implementing, we must kept in mind that these smart devices are resources constrained and have limited computing power. To compute or processing, they are having small microprocessors inbuilt in them, so they are having limited computing power. So they can't turn powerful, they are always resource hungry, and security functions are like to have more vulnerabilities than non-IoT devices. So from non-IoT devices, there are more vulnerabilities in IoT devices. So whatever the different security challenges, vulnerabilities are due to the reasons: lack of computation capacity. First one is, since there is a small battery life, there is a small processor, there is a lack of computational capacity. Second one is poor access control in IoT system. Poor access control in IoT system means whatever they are accessing, they are capturing, they are gathering, their processor is slow, their tags are slow, the reader is slow, so their access power is poor. Next one is limited budget for properly testing and improving firmware security. We are have to generate lots of IoT devices. Number of IoT devices are there in the market. So to test them and improving their firmware, if we spend most of the time and most of the cost in spending their testing those devices, then they are not budget friendly. So to make them budget friendly, we but doesn't consider about their testing and improving their firmware capabilities. Then lack of regular patches, updates due to limited budgets. Again, there is a small budget, so their maintenance is low. So when maintenance is low, so there is no regular patches or update in these IoT devices. That means rather than having an update on these IoT devices, we wish to make another version of that IoT devices. For example, we are having Alexa, then from Alexa much bigger, then we are having a middle one, and then we are having an Echo Dot. Rather than improving the vulnerabilities of that proper device, we make them a new version of that device. Users may not update their devices, thus restricting vulnerability patching. Users did not update their devices. Whatever they do, they just throw those devices and bring the new version of that device. With time, software updates might be unavailable for older devices. Poor protection from physical attack. An attacker can get close enough to add their chip or hack the devices using radio waves. So malicious actor aim to leverage vulnerabilities they have found in a target IoT system to compromise its communication. The malicious actor, since there are different security vulnerabilities, so what the malicious attacker do? Malicious attackers, what they do? They aim to leverage these vulnerabilities, and they found a target IoT system to compromise its communication, install malware, and steal all the your valuable data. Let's take an example for this, how the malware attacks, malicious actors attack. The use of vulnerable credentials like weak, recycled, and default password allowed hacker to hack Ring smart cameras. They even managed to communicate with victim remotely using the camera's microphone and speakers. Next one is insecure communication. Most exciting security mechanisms were initially designed for desktop computers and are difficult to implement or resource constrained IoT devices. So most of the insecurity features are enabled for non-IoT devices rather than resource constrained IoT devices. That's why traditional security measures aren't efficient to come to these protect this communication of IoT devices. So we have to implement new security communication features. So one of the most dangerous threat is the man in the middle attack. What is the man in the middle attack? Whenever we transfer a data from one device to another, a man between that communication link is there that steals all the data from device 1 and transfer its own data to device 2. This is the man in the middle attack, which here in IoT devices, this is the most common attack, man in the middle attack, because we are having resource constrained IoT devices. Hackers can easily perform this man in the middle attack to compromise an update procedure and take control of your device if it doesn't use secure encryption and authentication mechanism. Attackers can even install malware or change a device functionality. That means they can install a malware on your IoT device. They can even change the functionality of a device. How they can change the functionality of a device? Rather than glowing a bulb of your smart home automation system, they lit all the bulbs of your home. So this is a device functionality is changed. Rather than glowing a single bulb, the IoT device, whenever you say put the glow the bulb, it glows all the bulbs on your house with other devices and still be captured by cyber criminals if your device send it as a clear text message. Connected devices are susceptible to attacks from other devices. For instance, if attacker gain access to just one device in a home network, they can easily compromise all other uninstalled devices. That means another example is that if you are having a home automated system and you are just gaining a one device, they can easily consolidate or isolate the devices in it. That means you want to gain access of a device by sitting on your sofa or chair, and through remote you want to install or isolate the device or run that device. But what are the man in the middle attack does, that it unisolated the device and stops the working of that device. Next one is data leaks from IoT system. What are the data leaks? So by capturing the unencrypted message from your IoT device, hackers can get easy to data it process. So unencrypted data, since the battery life is low, we are having less non-restricted data, we are having restricted IoT devices with the restricted functionalities. So we might, in some devices, we might have a data that is unencrypted. So whenever we transfer an encrypted data, there is much and most of the time it may be chances that it may be attacked by a hacker or leaked by a hacker. Thus, data leaks are possible from both devices themselves and the cloud environment they are connected to. So whenever we are having an encrypted data and all the data is stored on the cloud. So whenever data is transferred via cloud or stored in a cloud, the cloud host services also experience external attacks. That means they experience attacks in which data leaks are possible, and data leaks are possible from both the devices themselves, the cloud environment they are connected to. That means if it wants to transfer the data from one device to another device, or it wants to store on the cloud, there is a possibility from both sides of data leakage. Third party services in your IoT system are another possible source of data leak. For example, Ring smart doorbells were found to be sending customer data to companies such as Facebook, Google without proper customer consent. So this is the most severe chances of data leak from the third party sources. Next one is malware and ransomware risk. What are the malwares and ransomware risk? Devices most at risk of being hacked by malware attack were set-top boxes, smart TVs, smart watches, etc. From these devices, malware attacks are possible. The data transferred from these devices is most prone to malware and ransomware attacks. If attackers find a way to inject malware into an IoT system, they may change its functionality. What attackers do, if they find an IoT system with the small restrict constraint IoT system, so attackers find a way to inject malware in that IoT system very easily. And by installing that malware in your IoT system, what they do, they may change its functionality, as we have discussed earlier about home automation system. collect the personal data, launch other attacks. Moreover, some devices can be infected with virus out of box if manufacturer doesn't ensure adequate software security. What they can do, moreover, they can infect their software, install the virus in that manufacturer box, and your device is incapable of doing anything. Ransomware uses encryption to effectively lock out user from various devices and platform, and still uses a user's valuable data and information. What the ransomware does, it locks all your devices from being functionality. And what does it do? Rather than locking your device, it shows that the devices are locked or unable to function properly, and in the backward it steals all your data and valuable data and information and uses them for its personal use. A hacker can hijack a computer camera and take pictures by using malware access point, and the hackers are demand ransom to unlock the device and return the data. They may demand your money or anything else. Next one is IoT botnet aiming at cryptocurrency. बॉटनेट मीन्स कीड़ा. सो इंटरनेट पे जो कीड़ा होता है उसे हम बॉटनेट बोलते हैं. तो IoT botnet workers can manipulate data privacy, which could be massive risk for an open crypto market. Crypto market in which the online currency is there. We share the online currency like gold bonds or digital data. So the exact value and creation of cryptocurrencies could face danger from malintentioned hackers. That means they show that they are giving you a good page, that is the original page of the website owner or another IoT device. But what they do, they make a fake page, access all your data, steal all your data, and then do a lots of damage to all your data. It could be a data, it could be your money, it could be your bonds, anything it could be. So the blockchain companies are trying to boost security. Blockchain technology itself is not particularly vulnerable, but the app development process is. So whatever the app development process in blockchain technology, so what it does, it boosts the security of that cryptocurrency market using different IoT devices. Blockchain breaches, IoT botnet miners, and manipulation of data integrity pose a huge risk of flooding the open crypto market and disrupting the already volatile value and structure of cryptocurrency. What they do, actually, blockchain means what they do, all those IoT botnets and blockchain makers and data integrity challengers, what they do, they send the packets one by one and all the time and flood all the crypto market with those packets or with those data and disrupting the volatile value. What will be the value of the market or crypto market? They use that volatile value, make that value degrade and structure whatever the structure of cryptocurrency is being there implemented there. They destroy all that the structure of those cryptocurrencies by flooding the packets in that area. Next one is cyber attack. Apart from malware and man in the middle attack discussed above, IoT system can also be susceptible to various cyber attacks. So what are these cyber attacks are? Denial of service attack, denial of sleep attack, device spoofing, physical intrusion, and application based attack. Being hit by many attacks such as malware, ransomware, man in the middle attack, these are the 5 common attacks of an IoT system that most of the IoT devices are vulnerable to these kind of attacks. These all 5 kind of attacks. Rather than all other attacks, those attacks are not much vulnerable to the IoT devices, but these are the 5 most common attacks to the IoT devices. So let us discuss these 5 IoT attacks. First one is denial of service attack. What is this denial of service attack? We are having IoT devices with limited processing, limited functionalities, resources constrained IoT devices. So whenever device 1 is sending a data to device 2, it sends a limited amount of data. Since both of the devices are having a resource constraint, having limited processing power. So what does the denial of service attack means? A man in the middle or a device functionality is changed. For example, device 1 wants to send to data from device to device 2. The device 1 functionality is constrained and it is then it is suspected to be done by malicious software. So what it does, it sends multiple times a data is sent to a device 2 to waken that up and to do some functionalities, and by performing that functionality again and again, it drains all the battery of your device or all the functionality of your device 2. So this is denial of service attack. What is do? The device 2 makes unable to give you a service. It denies all the service to provide to device 1. This is the denial of service attack. So IoT devices have limited processing power, which makes them highly vulnerable to denial of service attacks. During the denial of service attack, a device's ability to respond to legitimate requests is compromised due to the flood of fake traffic. The device 2 is unable to provide service to device 1 due to the fake functionality that was produced by some malicious software or malicious device, but to device 1 it is appearing that there is nothing and a problem in device 2, no problem is device 2, but still device 2 is unable to provide functionality to device 1 due to lot of traffic generated by the middleman. Next one is denial of sleep attack. Since the IoT devices are sensor based and sensor are connected to wireless network, and since the wireless network is there, we have to continuously monitor the environment of this network. So all these things are battery powered. So they are often powered by batteries that do not require frequent charges. What does denial of service attack, sleep attack means? Battery power is preserved by keeping the device in sleep mode most of the time. So since we are in IoT devices, we are having sensors. These sensors are inbuilt in most of the wireless sensor network environment to make them functional. Since these sensors are of low power, they are battery based, their battery management is the prime task. That to keep the device on all the time, their battery must be detained. So what does the denial of service attack means? Sleep and awake modes are controlled according to the communication needs of different protocols such as MAC protocol. Attackers may exploit the vulnerability of MAC protocol to carry out this DOSL attack. This type of attack drains battery power and thus disables the sensor. What they do? They just generate the fake request for a device. Whenever the device gets that fake request, the sensors are having the end devices. Those end devices just sleep. Whenever there is a task for them, they wakes up, do the task and again get sleep to just detain the battery life. So what does the denial of sleep attack does? The malicious software, malicious attacker sends a request to the device. The end device's sensors senses that data is coming, some request is coming, it's get wake time to time. Whenever it gets wake time to time, there is no task, it sees no task, it gets sleeps again. And from this doing of waking and sleeping, waking and sleeping, waking and sleeping makes the battery life drain and thus disable the functionality of a sensor. Next one is device spoofing. This attack is possible when a device has improperly implemented digital signatures and encryption. What does the man does? A malicious man does, attacker does. Spoofing means all time just see what the device is doing. It's what data it is transmitting, what data it is receiving, how it is processing. It spoofs all the functionality of a device. So what attack is possible to do here? The device has improperly implemented some digital signatures and encryption. For instance, a poor public key infrastructure may be exploited by hackers to spoof a network device and distort its deployments. Whatever it does, it spoof all the functionalities, it spoof its digital signatures, encryption techniques, and then disrupt the IoT implements. Next one is physical intrusion. Most attacks are performed remotely. Physical intrusion of a device is also possible if it is stolen. Attackers can tamper with device components to make them operate in an unintended way. For example, your Alexa Echo Dot gets stolen, and then that device functionality is changed, and then this device is connected to your phone. Now your phone functionality is changed through that device. Application based attack. These type of attack are possible when there are security vulnerabilities in device firmware or software used on an embedded system, or weakness in cloud servers or backend applications. Whatever the cloud applications, backend applications you have installed on your embedded system, that application functionality is changed by the attacker, and your device is not able to function according to the software or firmware implemented on your system. So these are the main 5 attacks, common attacks, rather than the malware attack, ransomware, or many other security challenges attacks in the IoT devices. These are the 5 main attacks. Thank you.